Hey everybody, this is Randy Wooters. I'm at eXp Realty. I've been here now for just over 3.5 years. It has been a whirlwind of a life change in the last 3.5 years. And I want to give you a little bit of information about how it's changed my life. And not just my life, but the course of six people, the course of our six people's lives. And when I say six people, I mean me, my wife, and my four kids. I'm 40 years old. I may not look 40. Maybe I do look 40. I don't know. I don't feel 40, so that's good. But 3.5 years ago, I made the switch to eXp Realty, and I'm going to tell you why. And this is one of those stories that seems fake. It seems like if I wrote this down, it would be somebody else's story. But this is my life. This is what I've been through. So if you've got a few minutes and you feel like sticking around and hearing kind of how eXp can change somebody's life, I'm going to tell you what I've been through. So I was teaching high school, high school biology, chemistry, and physics for 12 years at a couple of different high schools here in town. I'm in Palm Bay, Florida, Melbourne, Florida. And so I taught high schools here. And the most I ever made, and I coached on the side, the most I ever made was 43 grand a year teaching. And if I coached, that season, I would make an extra 5 grand in a stipend, right? And I really, I worked at my church as well. So, I really held down 3 jobs from, I'd say about 2004 or 5 until I started in real estate. So just 3.5 years ago. So 2017, I guess, would have been when I made the switch, 2018. So holding down 3 jobs. Why would I do 3 jobs? Well, because when you're only making 43 grand as your base salary, and you've got to feed, kids and keep the lights on, and, you hustle and you do what you can, and you have side jobs, you have a side hustle. In fact, I don't know very many teachers that didn't have at least one side hustle. Okay, so most teachers are also coaches. Some of them work for other part-time jobs, retail spaces, or whatever. So I was no different. I coached, and then I worked at my church, and I had a part-time position at church as a worship leader. See the guitars, play a little bit of music. So about I don't know, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was in a men's group Bible study on Monday night, and we had it at my house, had it at one of the guys' house, and I promise this is relevant in just a second. And my good buddy that I've known for a long time, at that time probably a decade, his name is Chris Bear. Chris Bear was at our men's group Bible study. And Chris was kind of like the guy, I watched him. He was a deputy sheriff for 13 years. And I watched him have his meteoric rise from being broke, just like I was, making 38, 40 grand a year. And then I saw something change. We actually kind of fell apart as friends a little bit, just because he was off, doing his thing, and he was selling real estate at a high level. And he got out of being a deputy sheriff when, his paycheck for, a couple of closings, he was making more per month than he was whole year. And so then he opened up his independent brokerage. Long story short, he became awesome at real estate. And he was in our men's group. And, I'm not here to talk about, your faith or what you believe or what you don't believe, but one of the things that we would do in men's group is we would pray, and we would pray for what the guys in the men's group what we're going through. My prayer almost every single time was financial struggles. And for those that have been there and you know what it's like to struggle financially, it puts a burden on your entire household, on your children, on especially your spouse. And even though they love you through it, deep down, you kind of feel like they want more for you, right? And all of your struggle and all of the work that you put in, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, of doing your main job and then your side hustles. And I mean, I was gone all the time. I mean, I would obviously leave early morning. I'd get to school early because I don't know a single teacher that doesn't get there early or stay late or both. In order to do your job effectively, you have to be there in order to grade papers and build lesson plans and all that stuff, right? So I was there early in the morning. I would stay late, and then I would go straight from school straight to coaching. Okay, and coaching would end at 6:30. Come home for dinner, and then I'd have to like do my other side hustle, which was, I was working for church. I mean, I was gone so much. I honestly, I missed like half of my 12-year-old's life. Probably more than half, because you only see him for like an hour or two per evening, and then that's it, right? So anyways, I'm in this Bible study, and Chris says, he waits till after everything's over. We're in the driveway, getting ready to leave, and he's like, "Look, man, I don't want to pitch you on something. I don't want you to do something you don't want to do. But if you need a way out and you need financial freedom, would you come take a look at what I'm doing? And would you come take a look at real estate?" Next thing you know, we have a conversation about real estate. He goes over the numbers. He goes over what we're doing here at eXp Realty. And I'm a analysis paralysis type of person. Anybody that teaches science is going to be very skeptical of everything. It's just built into you. So it took me a couple of months, but once the idea hit me hard enough, and I thought to myself, what have I got to lose? I literally, at this point, I'm on welfare and Medicaid, trying to support 4 kids, wife. I mean, we're renting at this point an apartment, and our kids, it's a 3-bedroom apartment. Okay, our kids are all doubled up, of course. The baby was in the crib. My wife had just had the baby. We have 1 car, and it can only fit 5 of us. Do the math. There's 6. Okay, it doesn't work, right? Somebody has to choose. Okay, are you taking them? Am I taking them? Because we can't both go. And we're not just going to throw somebody on a lap. It's not 1980 where you used to do that. So 1 car, didn't have the financial resources to pick up another car. Okay, it's a mess. And this thing was an old jalopy. I mean, this thing, I had to repair it all the time. And if anybody's watching this that understands what it's like to not have enough money to fix your car, you will throw duct tape at that thing to try to get it to go, right? So this is our life, day in, day out, and I'm getting tired of it. I'm like, look, I don't have anything to lose. I'll try this, Chris, and I will give this a shot. So I had a spring break where, as a teacher, you get a spring break, you get a week off, right? Most people will take that vacation, or they'll grade papers or do some sort of project. I spent that entire weekend, or that week, doing a 63-hour course, which is the pre-licensing course for Florida, and signed up for the test immediately, signed up, passed, and I was a realtor. Boom, you're licensed. Great. I decided to hang my license with eXp Realty. At that time, I actually got out of teaching. I went full-time ministry to make even less money, because I don't get it, apparently. I look back and I just shake my head at that decision. But I won't take anything back, because I think, when you follow your calling and to serve the Lord, or to work at a church, then that means more than the money. But I will say this. I thought I was broke before. I was way more broke when I did that, because instead of church being a side hustle and picking up some extra income, now it was the only hustle, and it was less than my full-time previous position. So I really needed real estate to work. And I mean, desperation needed it to work. So in year 1, so that was in May, I got my license. Year 1, I actually only sold 2 houses. I thought, man, I am a failure. I am letting my whole family down. Now, granted, it was the most money I've ever made in my life, having 1 check for almost $7,000 in my bank account at one shot on my first listing. And then I sold 1 more, which was great. But when you pay your dues and you pay your real estate dues, your board dues, you're already negative before you even get your first house. And anybody that gets in real estate understands that. So here I am, first year, I feel like a failure. I still only made an extra, 15 grand on top of my salary, which was great, but it wasn't enough to like get into the black. I mean, we were behind on bills, everything. The next year, things started really moving for me. I started selling more real estate. Chris invited me to take another step of faith and join him. He had just got the position for VP of Growth at eXp Realty Corporate. And he's like, look, man, I know you're not an admin, and I've never treat you like that, but I want you to come with me on this journey, and your title is going to be executive assistant. And I was like, this is weird. This is weird because in the past, Chris and I had a relationship of kind of a mentor-mentee type of a thing where, he would call me, I'm a little bit older than he is. So I said, okay, let's do it. And it was on his birthday that I sent him a card and I said, happy birthday, I'm in. And so I'm selling real estate. I'm still at church. I'm still full-time. And then at that moment, I left full-time ministry, went back to part-time ministry, and joined on staff at eXp Realty. In the second week working eXp Realty's staff, I was planning how to open New York City. Okay, we were planning the event, and I was out of my element. I'm in Florida. I don't know anything I've never even been to New York City. I don't know anything about New York City. And I'm planning an event, and then just a few weeks later, I'm there because we have to fly there and go do. I learned more in my first 6 months at eXp Realty about everything. I dove in and both feet, I wanted to learn everything. I read any document I could get my hands on, SOPs, ICA, the policies and procedures. I became the eyes and ears and the Wikipedia for Chris, basically. And then everything took off from there, and I started selling real estate on the side, and it was going great. And I was still leading worship at church, so technically still had 3 jobs. So that year, my increase in pay, I went to about $84,000, all said and done. That was a huge thing. That was a huge blessing, and it pulled us out of, welfare and Medicaid, and I was able to get a different car, and I was also able to get my wife a car. So we have 2 cars now, one big enough to hold everybody, kind of a thing. And at the end of the year, we had enough money in savings because we were frugal, where we were able to buy a house. We got a loan for a house, and we were able to buy a house. So instead of renting, now we're buying. We're owners. So awesome. The next year, absolutely insane. I take on more real estate. I start poising myself to start a team. So in my role at eXp Realty, I signed all the team agreements. I had to review any exceptions and write any exceptions that we had. Scalability, sustainability, building stuff, calculators, projects, all kinds of stuff. And I dove in so deep at eXp Realty to just get to know everything about eXp Realty that now it was affecting my business, because now I felt really confident as a realtor. In fact, enough to become a team leader. My income skyrocketed to 142-ish. The stock that I had been given at eXp was absolutely mind-boggling. The stock shot up that year. It was amazing to watch. And then fast forward to today, another year later, the very next year, my income doubled again. I'm on track to be right around 278, 280. And I recently did step down from corporate to focus on real estate, agent attraction, and built some of that passive income. Here's a few other things that have happened. Remember, it's not just me that's affected by this. It's 5 other people that are in my life. My wife, because we took a seminar with Stephen Hilgart, which was coordinated by Chris Bear, and he gave everybody kind of an option to be there. I spent I think it was March of last year with my wife. We made a vision board. And my wife had an epiphany that she could have more than one goal. It never really occurred to her that you can do more than one thing. So from that moment, she began to write a book, a children's book. And she actually got it published, and she wrote an entire series for the children's book. And then she started a novel. At the same time, She actually got her personal training certificate and strength coach and nutrition coach. And so she's over here just amazing self progress and growth in her life. A year ago, my oldest is a ADHD and ODD, oppositional defiance. He's also on the spectrum for autism. And he was at a regular public school because we could not afford anything. We could not afford anything special for him. And I felt horrible, like a failure as a father. But because of this newfound income, we were able to put him in a special school. It was just amazing to see him change. I mean, he was deathly afraid of going outside because, his anxiety just for bugs, the potential of a bug, it was crippling to him. Getting into the new school, socializing and working through some of his anxieties and fears and some of his things, and his trajectory of life is now totally different. He's able to learn at his own pace and his own level with the attention of an exceptional ed, dedicated teacher who is literally changing his path in life. And if you know anything about early childhood development, the earlier you can put a fork in the road, the further, the wider the gap gets. So he is, thank God, praise God, he is on a totally different path. And just some things like that where it's affecting everything. And people who say, money isn't everything. Okay, it's not everything, but it can absolutely change the quality of your life. I think money is amoral, as in it doesn't have morality. It's not evil and it's not good. It's not inherently either one. It's what you do with it. It's how you use it and how it can benefit you and your family. That's what gives money a purpose. So now, we're able to tithe, we're able to give back to church, we're able to give to people who need it, able to help people that we would have been the receiving end instead of now we're on the giving end of helping folks get through some stuff. So that's really a nutshell. I want to impress upon you that the tools, systems, and resources here at eXp Realty are far better and greater than anything I've experienced talking to any other realtors from any other company. And I don't mean that like, oh, it's just a little bit better. I mean, it's changing lives of agents every single day, just like me. And I was just a regular guy, really didn't have a whole lot of hope, didn't have a whole lot of goals. I was letting life happen to me and just trying to trudge through it the best I could and providing for my family. Now, I feel like I've grabbed a hold of the things that I can control, which is my attitude, my work ethic, my mind and my body, and what happens in my four walls of my house, right? I mean, I can control, how I speak to my children, how I speak to my wife, our relationship. I can control those things. I can't control buyers and sellers and the market, and I can't control, politics and what's going on with the government, but I can control me. And that changes everything. When you take ownership of your own life and you take ownership of what you can do, things start to change drastically. Now I have a 5-year goal that is, honestly, it's astronomical. And I never would have had this goal previous to this new growth mindset. And it's not just a goal, because I've reverse engineered it into action steps. And I'm actually already well on my way to my goal. And my 10-year retirement plan, I'm 3 years early right now because of the passive income and the leveraged income here at eXp Realty. Today, as I record this video, I just paid off the last bit of debt that I have, except for my house. I paid off my student loan from college. I am now 40 years old, and I just today paid off my student loans from college. All of my credit cards are paid off now, and we have a savings account. Life is so different. It's a weird feeling knowing that now when I make money and I earn money, it can go towards investments. It can go towards my stock portfolio. It can go towards real estate investments. It can go towards my children's college funds. If there's anything that's more rewarding is seeing your family changed, the trajectory of my wife, the trajectory of my children, they are going to grow up different human beings. And I don't take that lightly. And it's because of some leap of faith that I took. And I do thank Chris, but I know it's not Chris. I think it's God putting Chris in my life, and Chris making the right choice to go to eXp, and it's eXp, and it's all the folks that I've run into and that I've learned from here at eXp Realty. And I cannot thank the leadership enough at eXp. I can't thank my time, 2.5 years on the growth team at eXp Realty changed my life forever. And now as I move forward into a new trajectory of life, I can look towards, actually being able to enjoy my time. I now only work 40 hours a week, whereas before I was killing myself 60, 70, 80 hours a week sometimes. And now I'm able to be there. I'm able to be home. I'm able to clock out, I guess, if you will. I don't have a clock, but I don't have to clock out, but be present at my house from 5 until the rest of the day. I do work hard every day from 9 to 5. I think as realtors, we should kind of be on a time clock, our own mental time clock, and time block those out. I'm healthier than I've been in years. And my life is just on a different road. If any of that resonates with you and you want to have a conversation about that, I would love to have a conversation with you about that. And if you also came to eXp and you had a life change similar to mine or different, or just it impacted you in some way, I would love to hear your story too. I think it's amazing what the structure and the model. Thank you, Glenn Sanford, for creating the model. I know he had a lot of help with some really smart people around him, but when I started eXp, we're just shy of 15,000 agents. Now we're sitting at about 63,000 agents in US and I think 17 or 18 countries, which is bonkers if you think about the meteoric rise of eXp Realty, and the fact that I had anything to do with it is such a blessing. Being on the growth team. In 2020, I assisted on bringing over 287 teams and brokerages, crunching their numbers and helping them understand the value here at eXp Realty. And I'm glad to be a part of that. 2020, we were on pace to double that before I left. But I thank my coworkers, my colleagues that poured into me. There's people out there that are not even in my revenue share group. They're not even in my immediate circle that continue to pour into me on a weekly basis, sometimes a daily basis if I really need it. And they have nothing to gain. And that's what's awesome about eXp is they're not trying to gain anything from having those relationships and having those conversations. It's legitimately because people have a different mindset here. It is a growth mindset. It is a mindset of abundancy, not scarcity. People are willing to pour into and willing to collaborate at such a high level here that it is unlike any other brokerage that there has ever been. And I hope that there will be lots after that, but it's truly a life-changing and a life-giving experience to be here. For those that have dove in and kind of understand what I'm talking about, you get it. I'm going to leave you guys with that, but that's my story in as a small amount of details as I can give. Other than that, if you want to pick my brain, if you want to talk to me, recently I started a consulting business using the knowledge that I have. This is not a pitch for that, so I'm not even going to tell you the website because I don't want you to go. But if you track me down and you look for it and there it is, great. But out of the need for that, it has blessed my family as well. Doing consulting, I never thought I'd be a consultant for real estate. Especially for team leaders and people who are already rock stars in real estate. But here we are, and it's going amazing. And I have lots of clients, and it's phenomenal. That's all I have today. let me know if you want to have a chat. Talk to you later.